Crystal Palace FA Cup journey, from fedoras to first trophy hope. For many longtime Crystal Palace fans, the journey began with the iconic Malcolm Allison and his signature fedora. Can you believe it? Next year marks half a century since the club made its first FA Cup semi-final appearance, all thanks to the charismatic former Manchester City manager, who took the team from the old third division to new heights. Allison didn't just change the club's nickname from the Glazers to the Eagles, he also transformed their colors to the vibrant red and blue we know today, just months after arriving in March 1973. It was after a thrilling third-round victory over non-league Scarborough that he decided to don his lucky hat, inspired by the quirky spats worn by Portsmouth's 1939 Cup-winning manager, Jack Tin. Allison famously recounted, when Jack was asked why he wore them, he said, "We're going to win the cup with these spats." With odds of 40-1, Portsmouth went on to win, and Allison thought, well, nobody can really see spats, so I'm going to wear the fedora. As he strolled past the Scarborough dressing room, he overheard their players mocking him, saying, "What do you think about that big-headed bastard? First chance we ever have of getting some publicity and he comes along in that stupid hat." But the hat worked its magic. Palace triumphed over Leeds, Chelsea, and Sunderland, teams from higher divisions, before falling to Southampton, the eventual winners, in the semi-finals. Although they missed out on promotion that season, Allison's legacy continued as his assistant, Terry Venables, led the team to the top flight for only the second time in their history within 3 seasons. Fast forward to 1990, and under the guidance of Steve Coppell, Palace reached their first FA Cup final after a stunning victory over Liverpool, the league champions, in the semi-finals at Villa Park. They finished third in Division 1 the following year and even reached both domestic cup semi-finals under Alan Smith in 1995. Now, as they complete a record 12th consecutive season in the top division, it's hard to argue that this is the most successful era in the club's history. With a third cup semi-final in just 10 seasons, it seems Crystal Palace is inching closer to the elusive dream of their first major trophy. The bitter memories of losing to Manchester United in the finals still sting, especially the infamous 2016 defeat that saw Alan Pardew's awkward dance after Jason Punchin scored. And who could forget the 2022 semi-final against Chelsea, where Patrick Vieira's squad, missing key player Conor Gallagher, failed to make an impact. However, the current evolution of Palace under Oliver Glasner feels different. After a hard-fought draw against Arsenal, they now need just 5 points from their last 4 games to achieve their highest Premier League tally and potentially finish above 10th for the first time. The squad is brimming with international talent, and Eberechi Eze's recent goal for England made him the first Palace player to score for the national team since Peter Taylor in 1976. Speaking of Taylor, he was sold to Spurs shortly after Palace's cup run under Allison, and the Vultures have continued to circle Selhurst Park ever since. With captain Mark Gahey's contract expiring soon and interest in Eze, Jean-Philippe Mateta, and midfield maestro Adam Wharton from bigger clubs, this team knows they might only have one shot at making history. Glasner, who has yet to commit to a future beyond next season amid interest from both the Premier League and Bundesliga, is determined to seize this moment. "It's now a big chance to make a great season," he said. "This is what I love, not to make a bad season into an average season. It's to make an average season into a good season. In the next 5 weeks, this is what we'll go for." In terms of personality, Glasner and the often controversial Allison couldn't be more different. The soft-spoken 50-year-old Glasner hails from rural Austria, and his only previous visit to Wembley was for a Taylor Swift concert with his daughter. But after winning the Austrian Cup twice as a player and leading Eintracht Frankfurt to a Europa League triumph in 2022, Glasner is eager to bring silverware to South London. He even plans to wear a suit if Palace reaches the final. "I like this tradition," he shared. "I went to the tennis at Wimbledon, and you have to wear a jacket and tie. It was a Thursday evening, and I've never worn a jacket and tie on a Thursday evening. But it was a special atmosphere. If we get there, I will stick to the tradition." The Palace supporters group, the Holmesdale Fanatics, has raised over £13,000 for a tifo at Wembley, thanks to donations from several first-team players, including goalkeeper Dean Henderson and defender Chris Richards. However, the end of Roy Hodgson's second spell as manager was marred by criticism from fans about the club's direction, highlighted by a banner during a 5-0 defeat to Arsenal last January that lamented wasted potential on and off the pitch. Weak decisions taking us backwards. A civil war between Chairman Steve Parish and John Textor, Palace's largest shareholder, who has been threatening to sell his 45% stake for the past year, remains unresolved. Meanwhile, the club is seeking additional funding for a new main stand, originally planned for completion in 2021, with costs expected to exceed £200 million. Winning the FA Cup final and qualifying for their first European campaign, beyond the 2 games in the 1998 Intertoto Cup after relegation, would certainly help boost the club's finances. I was told the relationship with the supporters, before I arrived, was not on the top level, but since then I could feel the support for the team, Glasner reflected. Tomorrow I will get butterflies and be a little bit nervous. When you get up, it's a little bit of tension. But when the referee starts the game, let it run, let it flow, and then it's just football.